prosecute them to the fullest extent of the law. And they should make an example of these leakers so that they scare away all the other leakers and hopefully put them on notice. Because as you mentioned, it's jeopardizing our national security. It's also jeopardizing our close relationships with key allies like the UK. As you know, after this horrific ISIS bombing at the Ariana Grande concert, the UK intelligence officials shared intelligence with us, and that was leaked. I mean, that is dangerous because that could jeopardize their investigation and capturing, you know, an ISIS network or cell involved. And so this really hurts our national security, and President Trump really needs to set an example and stop these leaks once and for all.
Stephen, it really has gotten to the point where it's not just, I think we shouldn't even call them leaks anymore, more like a sieve. I mean, it's just like the entire dam has broken. How do you fix this? Is it really that tough to, let's say, first and foremost, come in and sweep out all of the President Obama holdovers? President Trump brings in his people, sets up his own sort of order, if you will, and then go from there.
Well, you do have to begin to control circulation of information. There's a lot of things in the intelligence community where you compartmentalize and you'll limit distribution. And there's really no justification for broad circulation of tactical forensic information in the wake of this kind of explosion. And it's really, really damaging to show some of those images because for all we know, there could have been signals in some of those images that would have been indicators to other people in that broader network. So it's extremely dangerous what was done. Very, very damaging to credibility, but it's not really that complicated how to tighten this back up. Definitely holdovers should go, but the way a modern White House operates, you're going to have people who aren't political appointees being part of the National Security Council deliberative process. But within those operational channels, there's lots of things that can be controlled, and everyone who takes the oath and gets a clearance has given up a lot of their civil liberties, and the government has every right to surveil them intensively to run this down.
Are there ways to set traps for them to put out certain information, see where it goes, how quick it takes to get to the Washington Post, things like that?
Absolutely, there are. And really, none of these people should be talking to the press anyway. I mean, I remember Vice President Cheney was adamant with us. I hire you to give me advice, and where I go with it is up to me. And if you want someone to talk to the press, I have a press secretary. And so, really, there's a lot of people who are running in lanes they don't belong.
Adriana?
Yes, and I think it's not as hard to track down these leakers as people think. I mean, take that meeting with the two Russian officials. There's only a few people in that room, key White House staffers and the Russian officials. So which of those people, probably under a dozen people, one of them had to have leaked that
Adriana,
information.
There's a lot of speculation out in social media and some other news organizations that up to as many as 3 people could face the chopping block once this trip is complete. You're insinuating that there's someone close to President Trump that may be one of the primary leakers.
Well, I mean, it's just, let's just do this as a process of elimination. If you're in a room with 2 Russian officials, President Trump, and let's say 5 other people, well, chances are one of those 8 people, let's say, leaked it, or maybe the White House or whatever room they're in has gotten bugged and the deep state is leaking that information to the press. So that's going to be harder to track down. So it's either the people in the room or the room is being bugged or surveilled illegally. So, it's not exactly easy if it's the deep state doing it to track that down, but it could be someone in that room, and that's where Trump should, the DOJ should literally issue subpoenas even to White House officials and get to the bottom of who in Donald Trump's inner circle could possibly be trying to hurt him and jeopardize our national security.
Yeah, without a doubt, some of this feels like an inside job. Thank you both very much. Well, another circuit court uphold